entrepreneurship will teach you so much about yourself that you didn't even realize you needed the lesson for. And then once you learn the lesson, you're like, oh, like and I guess that's one of the things for me. I'm at a point where like I love entrepreneurship because I kind of have figured out that trick. It's like when something happens that are really difficult, it's actually an opportunity for me to grow and learn and self reflect. Why is this a problem for me? That's kind of where I come from.
Hi, guys, and welcome to the House Call Vet Cafe podcast. I'm Dr. Eve Harrison. I'm a full-time integrative concierge house call veterinarian in Los Angeles, and I help other vets to build their unique mobile practices on their terms. This podcast is for and by house call and mobile veterinarians, so it is meant to give our community a platform to connect, to share our stories, to lift each other up, and to support each other. Most of us work solo as lone wolves, right? So for me, it's been really powerful to be able to physically hear the voices of my colleagues from all over the world and to get a chance to feel that we truly are part of a community of very real other human beings who get it. While you may be alone in that little bubble of your own vehicle when you're on the road seeing patients, I welcome you to join our community by tuning into our own podcast when you're on your way to your next house call. Whether you're a super experienced house call vet with 30 years of experience, you're a brand new prospective house call vet just looking to get started, or you're house call curious, there will be something for you in this podcast. Each episode, you will hear interviews from other mobile veterinarians just like yourself who are doing unique and innovative things, vets who are sharing their stories, their struggles and challenges, and you can also look forward to hearing valuable information and perspectives from specialists and experts outside of our micro niche. And finally, if becoming a house call veterinarian is something that you've been thinking about exploring, or you're looking for some extra support getting your own mobile practice to feel more profitable and sustainable for you, check out the information in the show notes about my course and our above and beyond supportive private community for members only, plus our monthly group coaching sessions within the House Call Vet Academy. You can also check out my free public Facebook group, which is also called the House Call Vet Cafe, the same name as this podcast, and which is a warm and cozy community for mobile vets to support each other in professional and personal development, in creative entrepreneurship, and in friendship. So thank you guys for spending time with me today. Let's dive into the episode. Hey everyone, I am incredibly excited to introduce our next guest, and I've been wanting to talk with this doctor woman for a while now, and we finally locked it down. So we have with us today the amazing Dr. Fumiko Miyamoto. She is the founder of Scoobie's Veterinary Concierge Service, a membership-based house call veterinary practice serving South Florida. Originally from Japan, she moved to the United States at age 15 to pursue her dream of becoming a veterinarian. Her path into veterinary medicine was anything but traditional. Before earning her veterinary degree from Ross University School of Veterinary Medicine, she spent over a decade working as an RVT in emergency medicine. In 2018, she started her own veterinary relief practice supporting clinics across South Florida, and that experience eventually led her to launch Scoobie's Veterinary Concierge Service in August 2025, bringing personalized veterinary care directly into pets' homes. I am so proud of this woman. She shares her home with her 3 dachshunds, Mabel, Charlie, and Ava, who I just had a chance to meet, who is absolutely lovely, especially Ava. And she enjoys spending her time going to Pilates class, quilting, and traveling. So welcome, Fumiko. I'm so excited to have you with me today. And we happen to be recording on a Sunday because we're both just crazy like that. So thank you for spending your weekend with me, at least a tiny little portion of it. So
Thank
welcome.
you for having me.
Yes. I'm so excited to have you. So I'm going to start out with the question that I usually ask. What is your favorite snack to eat in the
Oh,
car while you're on your way to your house calls
I
or,
love
or
this
relief
question.
or relief
I
gigs?
love this question. So I have this thing where I try to eat healthy on a regular basis, but the only time I get a snack is when I have to fill up my car with gas. And if I go into a gas station and they have the Lay's dill pickle chips, I will get them and then I will eat them. It's the only
Brava.
thing I do. Otherwise, I try not to snack because otherwise I could snack all day long. I would eat anything that's within my reach. That is
Amazing.
what I'm potato chips, nuts, water, whatever. I'm a constant eater. I'm a grazer. I'm like a cat, I guess. In a way.
Yeah, you're a snacker. Join the club. Oh my
Yeah.
god, the pickle flavored everything. I'm all about it too, right?
Yeah, and that one in particular, I don't know what it is. I think it's just all the, not so good stuff in it. I'm pretty sure, but it's just so good. So I'm like, I only get it when I'm at the gas station. I don't go buy it on my own. It's just only when I have to fill my car with gas.
Totally, totally. And I happen to know like you are an incredibly healthy person and like you prioritize wellness in every way. And we're going to get into that as a part of this conversation. So I'm like, oh, Fumiko's
That
eating
is
Lay's dill pickle
Oh, yeah.
chips.
That is the one thing that I will not give up. That's why I try not to reach perfection anymore in my life. So I'm like, okay, this is one time. I'm like, it's okay, and I love it, and I'm gonna admit to it.
Amazing. And I will be right there with you admitting that my guilty pleasure is likewise my prize, my incentive to make sure that I don't let my gas tank get to 0 or -5 is that when you go to the gas station, you get to have a treat. And for me, it's a Haagen-Dazs chocolate ice cream, a dark chocolate
Oh
inside and dark
yes,
chocolate outside, the one, the popsicle
yeah.
thing.
I love it too. If I was a lactose intolerant, I would have, yeah, I would definitely eat ice cream and all kinds of dairy stuff all the time. But
Oh,
now in my 40s, I cannot tolerate lactose, unfortunately. So
ugh.
enjoy it while it lasts.
I'll enjoy it on behalf of both of us, and if we were local to each other, the 2 of us would just be, like, cruising to our house calls together, snacking and, like, eating all the crumbles everywhere, and
Oh yeah, my car is definitely a mess when I go get my car cleaned on a, I don't know, 2 months basis. There's just crumbs and chocolate smears. Like,
chocolate smears everywhere. I'm right
yeah,
there with you. My
it's so
steering wheel, what a
gross.
mess.
I was like, oh, to some people, this may not look like chocolate, actually.
You are a veterinarian, are you not?
Yeah, exactly. Hence my point. I was like, huh, that's what people are thinking.
Hilarious. Oh my god. We're a hot mess, are we not? This is a
Yeah,
great, great start to this episode. I'm loving it so much. This
I
is
did
so
warn you.
yes. All the laughs. Yeah, and all of our by the way, for anyone who's listening, Fumiko is in the Concierge Vet Mastermind. Our yay! Our cohort is just coming to a close, but she just renewed her access, so I'm particularly excited because all of our calls are just laughter and just joy, and Fumiko is like seriously responsible for a large percent of that. So
Oh, that's so sweet.
yes. And we're going to get to that a little bit later as well for anyone who's curious about Concierge Vet Mastermind. She also started out in the House Call Vet Academy, I think in 2020, early 2025, maybe. Can't remember. We'll get to that. But for anyone who's interested in those experiences, we'll also hear from Dr. Fumiko about that as well. So hold your horses, everyone. We're going to get into some good stuff. And I would love to kind of open things up a little bit by hearing a little bit more about your journey, about how you became a house call vet, and you just jumped right into concierge as well, which is rare, but you did it. You did it, and I'm so proud of you. So I would love to hear a little bit about that journey.
Yeah, so I actually have been a relief vet for the longest time. I actually started my original business after being in general practice for a few years. I got extremely burnt out to the point that I was actually going to leave the profession. And I think I was like 3 or 4 years into the profession. I think we all go through that stage. And I was like so ready to just leave. And I was trying to figure out a way to make an income. And I realized that at the time, relief wasn't a really big thing down in South Florida. So when I switched from being a general practitioner, I took a sabbatical for 3 months and then I started my relief business. And from there, it kind of took off. So I've been very fortunate with my relief business. I've been able to increase my prices and have clinics that keeps, having me as a repeated relief. So it's been a great journey. But about a few years ago, it kind of started to become where I wanted to do something different. And also, it was also a time where I just had one particular client that I just kind of kept in touch with in the time that I was doing relief. And she would just basically follow me from clinic to clinic to clinic. And it came to a point where she was starting to have a dog that was kind of reaching the end of his life basically, and he needed more care. And that's when she was like, I just wish you had a house call where you can come to my house, and all that kind of stuff kind of conversation started, and that kind of started the whole journey actually. And then within a year, which is one of the reasons why my business is named after Scoobie, is that he passed away unfortunately, and we said goodbye. And but this business model kept kind of coming up to the point that I was like, well, maybe I can shift from being a relief to doing a house call. And at the time, I had no idea what house call was about. So I was looking into, looking at other places where I could learn about it. Cause, with business and entrepreneurship, you learn that it's best to learn from somebody else who've done it and been successful. And that's where I actually found your program. So I reached out to you initially and be like, hey, I'm looking into learning about your program, your academy. And then on the email at the very bottom, it said, if you're interested in concierge service, like there is a different course for it. And I was like, wait a second. I'm like, that was not advertised first and foremost. So I dug a little bit deeper. And again, this was going like, it was going at the same time, like when I was having the conversation with my client, with the Scooby concierge service, and then the house call, and then your academy coming into play. So I kind of did a little bit of research and I was like, you know what? Everybody said great things about your course. I was like, let's see where this is going to go. So I signed up for the concierge actually mastermind because it came with the house call academy information and all the courses that came with it. Since it took a little while before I actually were able to enter the concierge, the cohort. So I basically said, okay, during that time, I'm just going to focus on the house call academy and learn about house call business and blah, blah. And that's kind of where it really started. So I think I started taking your course around March of last year. And I think by summer I was done with the course. And by August, I launched the business. And then the cohort started in October. And here we are in March. We are almost at the end of the course right now. so,
Oh, you are
so that's kind of the story of how this all started and where it is right now.
Ugh, I am so freaking proud of you. You are just like acing it. Like literally, I just really admire you. You put your head to something and I have no doubt that shit is getting done. There is no
I am a check off lister for sure.
yeah.
But at the same time, there is something to be said about that. Is something definitely I have learned over the years because of the way we practice, right? Being in vet school, like you have to be on top of your stuff. I've done my internship and rotating internship, then I went to my critical care internship. So there are things that you learn throughout your career, what you have to do to get things done. But sometimes as you age, unfortunately, those starts to become a hindrance because you're such like just go getter it to the point that sometimes you have to stop. So yeah, right now it's okay because I know it's just a kind of a transition period. But yeah, it's been fun actually for me.
Yeah, no, you've really been doing great. And I really admire also like the balance that you found. Like you really kind of alluded just now to the fact that, we're go-getters, generally type A, like next, 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 I want this, I'm getting it done. But also the self-care piece, which is we're in the healing profession, healing arts, right? We are professional healers, if you like to use that word, or professional caregivers, professional providers of improved health. And as such, we are supposed to be the embodiment of that same health. And I think you really, really do a beautiful job of taking care of yourself, of really living what health is and practicing from a place of health. And that's unusual. I want to say that's really unusual in the veterinary field, even among, some well, like so-called holistic vets. And this is not a knock on them. It speaks more to the fact that we really struggle. It's hard to take good care of ourselves. It's hard to practice what we preach. It's hard to embody being a healthy provider of health, right? And really embracing the balance and the push and the pull and the self-care and the care for the patients and the care for the practice. And I think there are just so many ways that you really embody that. And I wanted to just honor you because I think we could all learn from that and we can all be better vets and better entrepreneurs by putting our own health at an equal level with the pushing, with the entrepreneurship, and accepting help from mentorship, meditating every morning, which I know you do, yoga, you're an inspiration. And I just really think also that my theory and what I kind of in my heart know to be true is one of the many reasons that your practice took off so quickly is that you understand this secret, that you can't thrive here and say, I'm going to fuck off in this area of my life, i.e. my entire health, well-being, etc. They have to be together, held together. And
Yeah.
because they say your health is your wealth, right? So I'll pause there for a second.
No, you're absolutely right about that. And I do really work hard at that for sure because of what has happened in the past, right? With this is all learned experience. I think if you have done it yourself, being in a residency program, like how grinding this job can be. And it's almost in a weird sort of way self-inflicted. And you don't realize that that's what's going on until you kind of burn yourself to the ground and you're like, what the heck happened here? You wake up one day, it's like, why do I feel so crappy? And so, that's been an evolving thing. We all have seasons where we have to work our butts off to get what we want, but then also we have to have a season where you take the break off and be like, okay, what do I really need to do? It's like starting a new job. Like you go gun ho for the first 3 months and like you want to prove yourself and you want to do all these things. And after a while, it's like, okay, now you can take a breather. Like people know who you are, how you practice. Then you get to relax a little bit and kind of show who you really are. And I think that's really hard to do. And I think it's just our tendency on a culture, not only being in this profession, in the medical profession, but also being a woman where you have a lot of responsibility. Not that guys don't have responsibility, but I do personally feel like women tend to take on more tasks because we tend to, I think on a regular basis, tend to be givers. So we take on more than we're capable of, and you're capable in every level. But when you take on too much, then you're not really taking care of yourself. And then you get unhealthy by not eating well, not taking care of yourself, and doing all these things. And then your health becomes a compromise, right? And then we get to a certain point where, like, you have back issue, you have eye issue. Some of us in a certain, depending on where you are in your career, in your life, and your age, like you start hearing menopause, perimenopause, all that health issue starts to come up, right?
Mhm.
And then you don't realize what was going on back then now are really coming to your forefront and be like, hey, you need to wake up. Like you need to take care of yourself. And so that's in my journey in the last 10 years, really to try to figure out where is my balance with my business, with also where my balance is with my life. I think the generation before us really have done a great job working hard, building a certain reputation for our business so that we as women and just going forward as veterinarians could be successful. But now I think we're entering a different age where we don't have to do a lot of the grind to make a good living and not be so, I don't know, guilty about asking or being shameful about asking certain things for where we are right now. And so I think that's definitely a balance. And I think that is shifting a little bit. But that also comes with people having health crisis now, telling us, it's like, look, you need to take care of yourself. And that's a great place to be in this profession right now, actually.
Yeah, I love that so much. We're kind of in the crossroads of hashtag boomer mindset, right? We benefit from the hard work and like
Mhm.
women now we're just right in there in the mix and hyper responsible while doing it and taking on more and more and more. And there's a huge proponent of what you said, that sort of seasonality of business, that there's the push and then there's the pullback. There's a push and the pullback, and it's never meant to be that continuous nonstop nose to the grindstone fuck my life. Sorry for my language, but like
No, but
it's
I
never
think
meant to,
that's the
and
problem,
especially
right?
as women, we're cyclical beings, right?
Yeah. And I think we forget that we have to take that break off. We tend to be like 100% at all times. And if you're a perfectionist type of person like me, you're always pushing, right? And you don't know how to let go. And I think that is a skill actually if you're a perfectionist, you're like, there's no way I can do it. It's a learned skill. And I think we all forget that. There's certain things that people are like, yeah, right? People are like, I don't know how to do that. Yeah, because you haven't learned it yet. But it's a skill set that we can all learn. It's really like riding a bike. We didn't all grow up knowing how to ride a bike until somebody taught us how to do it. And being a perfectionist is something that you actually learned over the years in your life. It gave you value, right? And that's why you are a perfectionist. And so when you kind of look at it from a different lens of, internal reflections. Well, why am I a perfectionist? Was it what got me here? Right. So then you start looking at it in a different lens, in a sense. It's like, oh, it doesn't have to be that way at all times, you know?
So well said. I mean, yeah, this is an adaptive protective mechanism that we take on from childhood. We learn that if I'm
Mhm.
not perfect, I won't be loved, I'm not enough. And then we hold these kind of incorrect assumptions as we get older that you have to hold on to that security blanket of perfection to be worth your weight. And it's simply not true. And just like you said, we learn this and we can just as well unlearn it, especially with accountability, with support, with other people, women alongside us, kind of going through that same process of undoing. And I am worthy. I am worth the prices I charge. I am enough. It's a lifelong conversation, but I love how you and I really embrace that path through entrepreneurship. And I think entrepreneurship is like what they don't tell you is like entrepreneurship is like life school. It's like, oh, you didn't think
Amen.
you didn't think we were going into emotional regulation. You didn't think we were
Yes.
going into like
Yeah.
learning your worth, your value, like on this earth, like your sole purpose. You didn't think we were going into that in entrepreneurship,
Yeah.
self-actualization. Oh, honey.
Yeah. It's 100% true. Entrepreneurship will teach you so much about yourself that you didn't even realize you needed the lesson for. You know? It's
Exactly.
like, and then once you learn the lesson, you're like, oh, like that's, and I guess that's one of the things for me. I'm at a point where like I love entrepreneurship because I kind of have figured out that trick. It's like when something happens that are really difficult, it's actually an opportunity for me to grow and learn and self reflect. Why is this a problem for me? That's kind of where I come from. If there's a certain client that's difficult or something like that, instead of being like, oh my God, this client's so difficult, or this is not working out the way, it's like, why are you feel, what is that emotion? Where's that emotion coming from? Do you feel like you're not enough, or you're not doing enough, or like you need to do more to prove yourself that you're there's all these like conversations that needs to happen, and this is why I do the meditation on a daily basis, is because it gives me a space to do that and self-reflect. And once you get to that point where like, oh, this is why this client bothers me, because she was personally attacking certain part of the trauma that I had in myself. And once you detach that information from what's going on, then it's like easy to solve the problem. You're like, oh, it's a lesson I had to learn, and now I know how to handle the situation.
So beautiful. It's there's so many threads I want to pull on here in what you just said. I first of all, growth mindset is everything. And I love how you approach things and I love how you learn from each moment. And that is the heart of a successful entrepreneur, especially a successful concierge veterinary entrepreneur. And it's really, really interesting that, I mean, it ties together with what we were just talking about, that when you take care of yourself and you don't get into this state of like permanent resentment and blame and shame, shaming yourself, shaming others, and you kind of step out of that boiling pot that the lobster didn't or the frog didn't realize they were in all this time, and the learned helplessness almost. It's like, no, no, we don't have to be in this pot. It's getting hot in here. Let's jump right
But
out.
you could take yourself out of it. Like you have a
Yeah.
choice. And I think
Yeah.
that's the thing that meditation teaches you, that you don't, there's all kinds of things going outside of your world, but it doesn't have to affect you. Like you can really detach from what's going on in the outside chaos versus what's really going on inside. And this is why, for me, like meditation and yoga and all that stuff is really important, or self care is important, because it allows me to detach from that noise. Basically, it's what I call them, it's just noise,
Mhm.
and sometimes the noise is actually within your head, right?
Usually,
So
most often,
yeah,
right?
exactly.
Most
So
often.
that's why it's like you gotta compartmentalize and take that part out, and so that you can actually reflect on what's really going on. Yeah.
So beautiful. And like truly, I when I have people approach me about the concierge mastermind, I typically will discourage people from going from non-entrepreneurship straight into concierge. I get
Mhm.
this question a lot, and we actually talked about it a little bit. I think from in the way I teach it and the way I live concierge and the way that it's changed my life and the way I see you're doing it too, I think of concierge as advanced entrepreneurship. I
Oh
think
yes.
it's ideally, and you're such an interesting case over here, and of
Case study over here.
N of one. No,
What?
no, but like it's so good. Like N of one in the sense that you are my first student who I said, you know what? You have this beautiful growth mindset. You've done clearly work on yourself. You continue to do beautiful work on yourself, and you do have experience in entrepreneurship as a relief vet. So let's see how this goes. We're going to take you into the program, even though you don't have a house call practice yet. And that is usually what I tell people. I would love for you to just see what entrepreneurship feels like. Have your own client for the very first time before you lock yourself into somebody with a contract of sorts. And you just blew my mind. You were just right in there with the right mindset and you just flew. And you're like amazing clients and patients. So lucky to have you. I just love that you really, I mean, it's truly rare. And again, I usually tell people, look, the best way that I find for people to really be happy doing this work and have really good, solid success, start the business. And then we transition into concierge once you see if you like it. But you just, there's something about you that I was like, no, we're going to go right in. And I'm just so proud of you.
Hey there, it's Eve Harrison. There's a question that I get from veterinarians all the time. How do you do concierge practice in your house call vet practice? Another question I get is, what is concierge practice? So the term concierge definitely gets thrown around in a lot of ways that are different from what I mean. But for me, I'm a house call vet, but as a sub mini micro niche within house call vet practice, I specifically have a concierge practice. So among other features, concierge practice functions as a membership container, but that's not the only thing that makes concierge concierge. What concierge practice really means for me is that I run a thriving, fully self-sustaining house call practice where I see way fewer patients. I earn income that is way more aligned with my actual effort, my skills, and the super thoughtful heart and soul that I put into my work. And the best part for me is that my client base is perfectly curated. I legitimately love every one of my clients and patients. And as a result of me not being burned out or resentful and feeling secure in my income and the energetic exchanges occurring between us, everyone involved receives the thoughtful, comprehensive care that they deserve, including me. And I actually have time and energy left to be my whole self rather than being defined by my career only. My Concierge Vet Mastermind program gives you everything you need to build a sustainable practice that honors both your calling as a vet and your ability to live a balanced, fulfilled life. In just 6 months, I will personally guide you through my compassionate concierge method with exclusive on-demand training, along with private coaching and direct text access to me, as though you were a member of my actual concierge practice. So you get to feel what it's like to be a client in my own concierge practice. You'll learn exactly how to structure, price, and market your services while skillfully and compassionately honoring your own boundaries. Plus, you'll join a super intimate community of like-minded veterinarians who are transforming their practices right alongside you. Do you want to learn a little bit more about what concierge vet practice is and if it's a good match for your goals before you commit? If so, check out my free Concierge Vet Starter Kit. Both links are in the show notes for you. Welcome to VetMed's best kept secret, and I'm sharing it all with you. I can't wait to see you inside.
Can you tell me a little bit about what's it been like? Like you've got yourself a good handful of concierge subscription-based clients right out of the gate. Let's hear about it.
So that's really interesting. And thank you so much for believing in me. I'm so glad that you chose me to come into the mastermind because you're absolutely right. I do agree with you that wholeheartedly. You do need to have some sort of a entrepreneurship in like experience before you go into concierge business because it's really about setting boundaries, right? I think that's one of the kind of fundamentals that we all, including myself, still struggle. But I think because I've had the relief business for so long that I know where that boundary is. Like I know where not to let clients cross it, but I know how to communicate that with other people, right? Because I've done that with the clinics that I have gone into. Because there have been times that there are certain clinics that didn't want to pay me for the time that I have put into, and I had to fight for that money, right? It's like, look, I did 4 hours of overtime. Like, you have to pay me. And they're like, well, there's all these reasons. And I'm like, no, like, I'm not doing that. But equally clients could do the same thing, right? The
They
boundaries are
do.
the same. They
They do.
do, right?
Yeah.
And so like you kind of have to, and that's part of the entrepreneurship is that you learn that part where you have to be a self advocate because one of the things in entrepreneurship, as you know, you're the only advocate for your business and for yourself. So if you're the type of person that haven't learned that skill, again, this goes back to skill set. This is not something, you're born with. You actually learn this as you go. So people who are out there is like, oh, I can't do this or this is not for me. It is a skill set. Like it really is. I can't emphasize this enough that you will learn how to be your own advocate. And so that is basically right. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
mic
one of the
drop.
things I really have learned. So when I did go into the house call, was there a fear? Absolutely. I've never gone into a client's home to do any blood draws or any of these things that I'm doing now, or get alone do a physical exam without an assistant, right? Like I need my nurses. I'm a nurse myself before I became a doctor. Like I need somebody to hold on to my dogs and cats. And here I am doing house calls now, and it's a very different type of practice. But if you've done those things before, it's just different environment. You're just learning different skill set now that are now instead of being in the clinic and having an exam table, it's now on somebody's couch and you're coaching somebody to hold the dog for you or the cat for you and asking them if they're comfortable. So there's just a different way of doing things. So when I signed up for the House Call Academy, actually that was really useful because your tips that you had in your course was really on the like it was right on. It really was what I needed. I was like, these are things I had concerns for, and you addressed every single one of them. But equally you started talking about the business side of things, so it was a really good, I personally thought it was a great balance of two aspects of what it means to be a house call business, but also like the house call veterinarian, but also a house call business aspect of it. So for me the business was definitely easier just because I've done it with my relief business, but the house call style of veterinary work was new, so that's why for me it was such an easier course to get into. And now that I'm in the concierge, that's definitely different. It is definitely an advanced version of entrepreneurship. But if you have the experience, it's not actually, if you have a business already and you've been somewhat successful, it's an easy transition, in my opinion. You just have to tweak things a little bit, I think, is more of the difference between the two courses. Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah, I would love to hear if you wouldn't mind sharing a little bit about your experiences in our Concierge Vet Mastermind, where our cohort, our 6-month cohort, just is about to come to an end soon. And again, I get to keep Fumiko, which I think is a huge asset to everyone else in there. And I mean, I think of all of our students as everyone who's come through the program and just sort of enacted and taken all of the steps and done the things. You're all have so much to give and so much wisdom. And from being like, these are the steps I took them, and this is what I learned along the way. And everyone's concierge practice that comes through the program is unique. It's different. The whole point is that we customize to your demographic. We customize to your heart and soul and what feels good to you. And you don't have to do anything you don't want to do. And you get to do everything you want to do and be compensated appropriately for it. So, I mean, your beautiful practice it's an inspiration. I love you recently came up with a new naming system, and it's just beautiful. And I'm just like so proud of you. So I would love to hear about your experience over the last, 5.5 months or so, specifically on the concierge
Yeah.
mastermind side.
Yeah, so it's been very fun in my opinion. It's I've always have a great time, especially with our group calls. You're right. We are every single one of us, I think, are in a very different position within our business that we have. And we are trying all to do the concierge style practice. And I think this is one of the things we talked about in 101. One of the things that I kind of struggled when I'm in the group is like, because we do have a good collection of holistic doctors in our practice. And I was coming from the GP perspective. It was like, I don't know how to make this model work in the GP style concierge service. And you and I talked about it. You gave great suggestions. And it's like, oh, yeah, I could do this. I don't have to become a holistic doctor to have this business, although I do. Love that aspect of holistic. So I would love to incorporate going forward. But at the same time, everybody's in a different place. We all have something to contribute. And that's one of the things I love about this particular group. because we can all learn from each other, wherever we are, like emotionally, just in life and physically. Like there's a lot of things going on in our life, not just the business, but our personal lives too. So not that we share everything of everything, but I think we get to see like we're just people trying to figure this out in business entrepreneurship and doing the best we can. And we have great suggestions and we laugh and we cry. And we have so many things that we share that become such a great community to just be part of, which is why, I wanted to continue on because it's hard to find that when you're doing this on your own. And so finding those communities is really important, especially when you're building something like this and be able to be like, you know what, she said something that was interesting. I'm going to take that on and do something different with my practice. So yeah, in that aspect, it's been a great 6 months actually. Learned a lot from
Amazing.
them.
Amazing. Oh, I love that you mentioned that conversation we had about like, can you do concierge if you're not holistic? And I get this question a lot. And I mean, it makes sense because one, I'm sort of like advocating about concierge practice and I put out all this marketing material about how great concierge is. And here I am, I'm an integrative vet and I'm in Los Angeles. And people are like, oh, well, she's in Los Angeles and she's an integrative vet. So of course it works for her, but it wouldn't work for me. It wouldn't work for my type of practice. It wouldn't work for my demographic, but it's simply not true. I have a beautiful place where I'm practicing and I have some beautiful things that I'm offering in my practice. But the model, the container that I'm teaching and the way that I teach it through the compassionate concierge vet method that I teach you guys is applicable anywhere. It is applicable to any style of practice.
Yeah.
And it's so interesting because I also, and I told you this before on our one-to-one coaching call through the mastermind, that I really see you as a holistic vet. I think that I see you as a concierge. I see concierge model as a holistic modality itself. Even if you're not giving them mistletoe injections, even if you're, and I happen to know you are in acupuncture training at She Institute. So, I mean, your practice is just going to explode after that. But like, look at you go, like, you're just like, providing such incredible value as it is, and you show up as an embodied version of a healthy person with a healthy mindset, and you bring that into these homes and to these animals, and your care and your love, it's so palpable that I think all of that is part of holistic practice too. How you show up as the caregiver, how you show up embodied as the model of well-being, how you hold that. And I think, I mean, you are a holistic vet in my mind, and you're getting there with the modalities, but the concierge container itself is, I believe, meant to meet every animal in real time as disease and wellness unfold. That is a holistic mindset to actually be there for people in that really holistic way. And when you care for the owner in that way and you provide at the level that most people who want to be concierge vets want to provide, we're givers. We are so invested, so hyper responsible and so just over giving. We're just natural nurturers. Most people that go towards concierge just give and give and give. And also that's why we end up with resentment because we're not charging enough. We don't have the right financial container for it. So basically, I just wanted to say once more that you're awesome. that was the whole that was the whole purpose of that last rant there.
No, but I will say I think this is the thing that's about different about the mastermind class. Like you say, what you talk about advanced, entrepreneurship is because you are learning that skill set. Like, how do you set that boundary, right? Because I think a lot of sometimes we as women, sorry, I keep saying that, but like a lot of the women in general, in my opinion, have a hard time fighting for your worth financially. Like there's just so many people that I meet that I'm like, oh, like I can't increase my prices or oh, I can't charge that. And I was like, why not? Like my question is always like, why not? Like, why can't you charge? Like, let's say you're charging $100 and now you want to charge like $200. And they're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to lose so many clients. It's like, yeah, but then maybe actually that may turn to in a situation where you get rid of clients that are becoming difficult for you and you keep the clients that are actually really understand your worth and are willing to put that money forward. And so there is that financial I don't know, like the self-worth part like that come into play that I always find that little personally frustrating because I've learned that lesson myself. But at the same time, I'm like, I'm such an advocate of people, especially with the women entrepreneurs, like you can charge more and you are worth it. Like you can definitely do that. So I think the master class actually really we talk about this a lot, actually, I feel like. So I feel like I can say this, like we teach each other how to do that and be an advocate. It's like, look, you can charge that amount. And I'm open book when it comes down. It's like, look, this is what I charge. And I tell that to the people in our course saying, hey, this is what I charge, this is what I'm going to do. And I have no problem sharing that with people as long as it's not public, obviously, but in a small quarter of the things that we do, it's like, look, I don't have any problem sharing because if this forces you to charge more, then that's what I will do. See, if I can do it, you can do too. That's how I feel like, which is what I love about this group is I think we're very open to those kind of advice and critiques, basically.
Yeah, yeah. I really love our group too with like, I like really with my spaces to be non-gatekeeping. Once you're in the community, what do you want to know? I got you, like we got each other. We're going to rise together. And I love how you show up in that and how the other women in the program, all of you know, if you're listening, you all know who you are. You're all amazing. If you're listening back after the first cohort that Fumiko was in, we're talking about you.
Right.
You're listening to this like a year later, who knows? But no, it's so important. The inner game is everything when it comes to self-worth, and that foundation is so important. We have inside the program, one of the lectures is called In It for the Money, mindset. In it for the money mindset. Because it's like, yeah, everyone says that to us, but it's like, I am in it for the money mindset. I'm trying to support myself, damn it. I do good work. I
Yes.
am an incredible vet, and so are you, and so is everybody who even has an inclination in their mind that concierge might be for them. If you're coming and even thinking about concierge, you are a person who is giving from the heart, from the soul, and you know it. And let's work together to be okay with that energetic exchange. I'm giving so much from my heart. Let me please be compensated for that. And let me please have clients who are willing and able and abundantly excited to pay you your worth because they are so freaking grateful for you. Why do we not? We all deserve that. There's no reason we shouldn't have that. Every single one of us. If you're listening to this podcast, you deserve it too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everybody does. And I think that's sometimes hard when you are so used to the grind, right? Some of us in the GP world are under commission style income, right? Where the more you do, the more you case you see, the more you do X, Y, and Z, the more money it comes to, your paycheck, which is good. There's nothing wrong about that. And the flip side is that it teaches you that you have to do the grind to make financial gains, right? And so concierge service actually gives you the kind of the balance, right? Of you can work equally as hard but get compensated more because you are doing a different type of service. You're not going from appointment to appointment to appointment. You're maybe seeing two appointments and in a day, right? So then you have to ask yourself, well, if I'm only seeing two appointments, and if you're used to doing, for example, GP world, what are you making in that day, right? And then think about I kind of like to work backwards of whatever you produce for your practice, like what do you have to do to replace it? That's kind of the equal thing that I can use as numbers, because like numbers are always good, especially when you're doing entrepreneurship. It's not like something that you make up. So if you have a solid number and you're like, okay, if I only get to see two clients, what does that mean? Like how much do I have to charge for that particular incident? It makes it a little bit easier to be like, okay, this is the money that I'm going to charge for my client. And then it becomes a little bit easier. And then now you have to work within yourself. It's like, oh, I am going to charge this much. Am I going to be worth it? And that's an internal game right? That's an internal thing that you have to work with and overcome and be like, yes, I am definitely worth it. And I can charge this much.
So good. And I want to say that if you are a person who's listening to this and you're like, I know I don't charge my worth, I don't feel my worth, I'm not worthy, and I've been working on this for a while and I can't seem to overcome these feelings. I just don't feel I'm worthy, or I have imposter syndrome and I don't think I'm enough and I don't think it's okay to charge those prices. I want you to know that you're not broken.
You're not alone.
You're not alone. I promise. I promise. I promise. It is incredibly difficult to overcome that mindset alone. Incredibly difficult. And that's why people, Fumiko, myself, have had years of coaching, years of immersion in women's groups, not only women's groups, but containers where you're held and you have accountability and you're encouraged and cheered on by people who truly believe in you. And
Yes.
that, I believe, is necessary. As human beings, we don't work in a vacuum. We can't bootstrap ourselves with this. You can read as many books as you want and that will help, but that's not enough, in my opinion. This is such deep-rooted narrative and stories about ourselves and our worth. Some of it's generational trauma, some of it's cultural trauma, and we cannot do that alone. So I just want you to know that if you're struggling alone, it's not a you problem. It's that this needs a deeper, a more holistic, more community-oriented, and allowing yourself to be held type of support, and we can get through this. So, Fumiko, I just loved having you on this episode. I love having you in the group. I love everything you've contributed. I know your clients and patients are so incredibly lucky. Before we close up the episode, I would love to hear from you two things. One, what's your favorite thing about concierge practice or about being a concierge vet? And two, do you have any advice for anyone who's considering joining us in the Concierge Vet Mastermind? Our next cohort is starting in about a week. So I'd love to hear if you have anything to say.
Yeah, I would say for the concierge part is the flexibility. Really, you get to kind of like how I built my relief business. All the way been about flexibility, and concierge business allows you to do that. You know, again, my relief business, I've been so fortunate enough to have built the way it is to the point that I don't really work that much. I work 2 days a week and that's it. And I charge a certain amount and I take a whole bunch of time off. Like I take 3 weeks off during the summer, for example, and I go to different places and travel a lot. So again, that relief business allows me to do that. And when I started the concierge business, unlike the house call, right? The typical like the mobile type of practice that I'm talking about, it allows me for my client to be very picky and choosy and be like, look, I take 3 weeks off during the summertime, just so you know. And I put that out there. And I love that flexibility and it works with my schedule. So that's one of the things I do love about the concierge, that it's really your own practice, the way you want to do it. And you're in charge of how things going to go. For the people who are thinking about or want, is going to go to the next level and wanted to join, I mean, you're going to get your money's worth for sure. There is so much wisdom, a great community. I can't say better things about this course. So if you're ready to take on that next step, if you, especially like you said, if you have a business already and you want to take it to a next level, it is a hard shift, but it's not an impossible shift. And it's really for people who are looking to kind of solidify their practice and really making it into your own so you're not burnt out all the time. And this is, I think, to me, concierge is a really great long-term plan for your future. If you're the type of clients or if you're looking if you have a business that are like, oh my gosh, I don't know how I'm going to sustain this for the next 20 years, concierge will give you that because it allows you to be that flexible. It allows you to be selective. It allows you to be and make the income that you're looking for. So it's really, really great for that. So if that's the direction you want to go, you should definitely sign up for this mastermind and come join us.
Yay!
Yes.
Yay! Thank you so much, Fumiko. This has been such a fun conversation, and I agree, concierge is the epitome of sustainability. And I think it's a retirement plan too. I don't want to ever I don't want to ever give this up. I'm retired already. I'm in full-time concierge and I feel retired. That's great.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It is. It really is a different way of practicing because I always thought being in the GP world, I was like, I want to retire at 55 because I don't know how long I could do this, right? Seeing 20, like 15, 20 patients a day, like just going from one room to the other. Although I love the job, don't get me wrong, but it's just not for me sustainable long term. Like I can't see doing 4 days a week of that for the next 20 years. And it's just like, but concierge, I could definitely see this being able to do it until I really can't do it. Like physically, I'm unable to, or mentally, I can't. I don't know. Maybe my clients will be like, she has dementia. She cannot be in bed anymore. That's the time I'm going to retire.
So good. Oh my God. I'm right there with you. Oh, I love this conversation so much. I wish we could go on for another hour, which means we're going to have you back on the show. However, it's called Vet Academy Coaching Call is about to start, so I got to hop off.
Yes.
But no, you're good. This is me just like loving this conversation so much. Before we close, what is your favorite beverage? What would you like to order since we are in the House Call Vet Cafe?
Ooh, Oh, what do I like to order? Since I became lactose intolerant, there's a lot of things I can't have. But I do love my matcha latte. That's my indulgence. So I normally get like a soy, like matcha latte. That's my definitely beverage of choice. And if it's an alcohol base, then I love my old fashioned.
Oh, cheers to that.
Yeah.
Cheers to
I've gone
you.
into whiskey lately and I'm kind of
Oh,
loving it. So
love it.
yeah.
All right, my dear. Well, congratulations on everything you've achieved, your
Thank
beautiful,
you.
beautiful practice. I am so excited for you, so excited to be with you on this journey, and just can't thank you enough for being an inspiration of a human. So,
Well, thank you to you. I got here because of you too. So
uh,
I appreciate that.
team effort. And I'll see you on our next podcast, huh?
Yep. Yep. Next call.
All
Thanks.
right, my dear. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the House Call Vet Cafe. If you enjoyed this episode, then hit the subscribe or follow button on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, YouTube, or wherever you listen to podcasts so you never have to miss an episode. This podcast is made specifically for you, so don't be shy if you'd like to reach out and let me know your thoughts on this episode. You can find me on Instagram and Facebook as The House Call Vet Academy, where I also share more valuable content. If you're interested in learning more about consulting for house call vets or the House Call Vet Academy online course and community, please click on the link in the show notes. Have an amazing rest of your day, and I can't wait for you to join us for our next episode of the House Call Vet Cafe.